Hello, my name's Steve Morris. I wrote a book called Do It Yourself, A History of Music in Medway, and in a continuation of my series of interviews I thought I'd have a chat with Simon Bunyan. Hello Simon.
Hello. Steve.
So we're going to go through a list of your, I would say top 10, it might be top 8, top 20.
I think it's actually 11.
It's 11, okay, well it seems to be a fairly...
it's a fluid number.
A fluid number, yeah. So let's get the ball rolling.
You ever step in front of speed in a car? Well, people take you for.
Your first choice was Let's Go Naked and their song Untitled.
It's not so much about these specific songs. It's about when I first started going out in pubs and sort of wandering around like a sad little soul. I used to go in the Nags, used to go to the Crown and stuff like that, and really started noticing bands around here. And then the first band I was in, a band called Robert Underwater, the second gig we did at Churchill's, we supported Let's Go Naked.
Yeah.
They weren't called that then, they were called Three Burning Souls or something like that.
Okay.
And
so when's this? What sort of year? Mid-80s?
About, I think it was like February or March 1986, something like that. So, and I was just drawn to them. They was really fantastic. They were just so kind of taking a phrase from your book. They were so sort of DIY. I mean, they didn't really seem to know how to play very well, especially the bass player. Well, Mark. But he's learned a few things over the years. Anyway, and it was just like one of these bands. You think, wow, this is great, and it just didn't sound. I mean, they sounded like you could level things that sound like a New Order or Bunyan Cannibals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was listening to it and I thought, that sounds a bit like Johnny We're Sorry.
Yeah, but it's but take that away. They were only sort of band around here. They're doing things like that, and it was a bit sort of kind of like, wow, who are these guys? And like I say, that was when I first met Mark Aitken, and Carl was the drummer. There's a guy called Kris Dollimore who was the singer that I don't think I ever spoke to. He was just a bit scary.
Okay.
He was a big lad from Hull. So.
And the song's Untitled. We were talking just now before we switched it on. Nobody knows what it's called.
No, not even Mark. Mark doesn't know what it's called. Because apparently they had what they used to do, they didn't really care about song titles, they just had songs, and then they just didn't really matter. So
Fair enough. Moving round about the same time, swinging time.
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, the chronology of it might be wrong. I mean, Gary might tell me off for putting Let's Go Naked first, but I'm not really sure who was around first or second. But
so this is Gary Robertson.
Yeah. It was Swinging Time, who once again were a band, sort of Churchill's like most of us used to do in those days. We used to go down on Wednesday night, and there'd always be bands on. And
was this through the Medway Bands Co-op, or just
no? This was slightly prior to that, to be honest. Because we first started playing down there as Robert Underwater. There was a guy called Andy Webber, and he used to put on the Wednesday nights there, and basically he'd have anyone on, so he had us on a couple of times. And it was the first time I ever saw Swinging Time down there, and I remember them doing this song Happy Now, and just being absolutely blown away by it. Mm-hmm. And then and as time's worn on, I've known Gary for over 30 odd years now, as well as Stuart, and Andy flits in and out because he lives over in Spain. And I haven't seen Dave Godfrey for a long while, it was just, once again, it was just another of these bands you just kind of went, wow, because there was, I mean, it's probably just me, but I always had this thing that it's all just 60s wannabe bands around here, and it was really nice to actually hear the kind of music that you liked, or that I liked, which was pretty much new wave, and sort of. But saying that, I did venture to the Crown once and saw the Offbeats, supported by the Apricot Brigade, which was a bit of a contrast. So, it was just nice to, and I think it was kind of it was it was that smaller thing as well, because Churchill's was tiny. It was about the size of this room. So, it was great days, really good, great days.
I remember talking to Gary about how he'd sort of grown up, he'd been listening to more current sounding stuff, and then came over to find what was happening with the sort of the more retro sound and going, what's happening here? So you're more in the Gary camp.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, the sort of bands I was going to see around then, I was seeing Bauhaus, Southern Death Cult, the Cult, Banshees, all the old goth. Not that I was a goth at all, but it was like they kind of went to see. I've seen Theatre of Hate, Spirit of Destiny. It's just those sorts of bands, and so it was more kind of my bag, if you like. And it was great. It was just good to hear people doing it, because Robert Underwater was very. I mean, we were very much kind of, we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, I'd never been in a band before, and we'd literally, at first gig, we were told we were playing on the Wednesday the previous Sunday, and we didn't have any songs, so we rehearsed for 2 nights and then played on the Wednesday.
Right.
We wrote these 5 songs, which are now obviously classics. Everyone whistles. It was just kind of, it was that thing really, and that was very much, John Hart and Tim were both really influenced by the Cocteau Twins and the Chameleons and people like that. So it was great times, really great times.
Good.
Sex on my mind, I'll score that goal next time. I feel my life is treading the same line.
The Mighty Claim.
The Mighty Claim.
The Mighty Claim, yeah.
So this you've chosen as an example of the Claim's oeuvre, This Sporting Life, which is an excellent tune.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it sort of goes back to those dingy nights at Churchill's, and I remember, I think they were just there or something. There was it might have been a night swinging time we were playing actually, and the Claim just happened to be there. And I think they were, strangely for them, they were drunk that night, and they got up and played a couple of songs off what were songs that were going to be on Boomy Teller.
Yeah. And
I'm not sure if that's the first time I saw them, but it was certainly the first time I started to take notice of them. But they did have a bit of a rep as, you didn't look at them twice, it was all right. So, sorry Dave and Arnie. But it's true. We were scared of you. And then you became nice boys. So...
They were not nice, but...
Well, not that they weren't nice. Oh, Christ. We'll go with this. It wasn't that they weren't not nice boys, but it was when we played at the bandstand, Robert Underwater, we sort of turned up all fresh-faced and everything. And I remember this blue or green Bedford van pulling up and the door slid open.
Yeah.
And the Claim all stumbled out carrying this 24 crate of beer.
Okay.
And this was about 12 o'clock, and I think they went on about 5.
Right.
And it was stuff like that, and it was. But they, it's just sort of anecdotes and everything. I mean, they're absolutely and still are an absolutely fantastic band. It's great to see them play again recently, and it's great when they get back together. But Sporting Life was just one of those. I still listen to it now, and it's still kind of like. I mean, it's a ridiculously short song, but there's so much happens in it, and it's not like it's all been thrown in there just because let's be clever, let's have some commentary, let's do this. So it just works, and likewise the other side, Sunday, is just as great, and that's and I bought I think they played up the Ash Tree or somewhere like that, and that's when I bought the single. But it was
Yeah, they were kind of ahead of their time, really, weren't they?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah,
Britpop band before Britpop happened.
Yeah, and it was Dave's. I mean, the way Dave delivers his lyrics as well, and just kind of the whole.
Yeah, he's a fantastic singer.
Yeah. It's it sort of puts. I watch them now, and I still can't think on it. There's that great quote, isn't it, by Jackie Charlton. Or anecdote, he based the end of the 1966 World Cup final, we're 3-2 up against Germany.
Yeah.
And minute to go, extra time, shit, we're going to win the World Cup, we're going to win the Cup. Ball falls to Bobby Moore, centre of the sort of edge of the penalty area. And Jackie Charlton's looking at him going, just clear it, just fucking clear it, get it out, fucking clear it. And what Bobby Moore does, he puts his foot on the ball, looks up, puts his 40-yard pass to Jeffer's foot, who runs on and scores the 4th goal.
Yeah.
And Jackie Charlton said, I never saw the 4th goal. He said, I was just standing there looking at Bobby Moore going, I'll never be able to play this fucking game. and that's how I feel when I see the claim. I just kind of go, yeah, I'll never be able to do this properly. so yeah, you're Bobby Moore. You're my Bobby Moore.
It's so stupid to be here. Look what you did.
So Ascoyne Dascoynes is Bob Collins and Ian Smith
and that bloke who can't play bass. He was learning a few things after that. Yeah. But
so this was a garagey kind of
band. Once again, I'm not sure how it overlapped with the Dentist. I think they were still going a little bit. I'm not sure if Bob had actually left by then.
Yeah, I think he was thinking about it.
Point,
wasn't he?
But they were absolutely fantastic. They were. I mean, admittedly, I'd had a bit to drink a couple of times I saw them, and one famous occasion me and my mate Kev went to see him in Lewisham and ended up being they were supporting some, or they might have been headlining, but there was basically this band and before them, and they had this like one of those junket cage things, you know, with like things like that, and a gong, but there might have been a gong. In my head there was a gong, and us being us when we were loudmouth youths. They sing over every song. We just started singing Vienna by Ultravox really loudly because it was like, and then you got the Ascoynes get up, and Ian's basically got his kit, this rickety old kit that he had, and he puts a typewriter in front of it to stop it moving forward, and it was fantastic stuff. And me and Kev spent the rest of the evening drunkenly trying to sell fanzines to people who just hated us, but they. I mean, I know obviously the lineage that Bob's got with the Dentist and stuff like that, and his more recent solo stuff. But to me, it's kind of the best stuff he's done. It really is. Yeah. I mean, it was like when they did a sort of. I know they did the Legends thing. Sorry, Rob, I had to mention it.
This was the Spain.
Yeah, the thing in Spain with all the legends, where they all went and became legends. It's like Valhalla. It's like Medway Valhalla. We will go to Spain and become legends. But they did. Where was it played? I put a gig on down the Nags, and they basically reformed to just do like 20 minutes again. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time they played in donkey's years, and then it just took me back. And just great songs, just great sort of minute and a half, 2.5 minutes stuff, you know, just really properly powerful, and you know, and there was, I think it's the biggest. Was it Biggest Thrill or whatever that, not Biggest Thrill, because that's someone else, isn't it? Biggest Thing, isn't it, the song? But there's another one they used to do called Silent Dust, which I've got it on a CD somewhere, which is a great song. But no, it was, luckily knowing them, you get given all the crappy demos as well, so that's always a handy thing. You know, not that they're crappy, they're great.
Yeah. Where to next?
Well,
it's a bit of a leap forward after this, isn't it?
Well, it is a bit in a way, but it's kind of like I included a young man who, I'm saying young, he's not that young now, but kind of in a way transcends the whole thing, because when he started out doing what he still does now, he was sort of he was young, and you know, and basically answered an ad in a newspaper and ended up being a person that people come up to in the street and go, wow, it's you. Yeah. And that's Kris Dollimore. Yeah. And you know, and he's still
Dolly, as you put it.
Yeah.
Who is this band? Dolly? I've never heard of them.
Well, they're very good.
I don't need no religion. I got no mortgage on my soul. I said I don't believe in no religion. No. I got no mortgage on my soul.
Luckily enough, you know, I was privileged enough to call him actually one of my good friends, Kris. He's a top bloke. When I first met him, I didn't even know. I'd heard about this local bloke who was in The Godfathers. I never saw The Godfathers, we all used to drink in the Rose and Eve before and after Gillingham games. Mm-hmm. Your wife probably knows all about the Rose and Eve. And one day, this other chap, Mark Rangham, brought along this mate of his. He said, "Oh, this is Kris. You know, he's really into film." Didn't really know him from Adam. Just got chatting to him, and he's an absolutely thoroughly decent bloke. And it was only sort of through 6 or 7 conversations later, found out he was a musician. Found out this and this and this and this. And you just think, fucking hell, but he's just such a decent guy. Yeah. Really, really supportive of other people and other acts. I mean, he's the reason why I play the guitar now.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of went to me, you know, just do it. Because I never used to play the guitar, and just used to write words and sing over the top of the loud music, basically. And now I just play the loud music and sing over the top of it. But he was just so encouraging to me, and you know, and not just that, he's a great friend. You know, he's a really, really decent bloke, and so I just thought he should be in there because he's, you know, to me he is Medway, and he's a Medway legend. He can go to Spain.
Yeah.
Basically happened in about 2004. The Nags Head pub basically changed landlord and landlady. Ange left and retired.
Ange, the famous Ange.
The famous Ange left, and she retired off to Norfolk somewhere.
Okay. Famous for throwing bands out.
Famous for many things. Famous
Dagger Men got evicted
famous
times.
For switching bands off, and and lots and lots of stories. But in the sort of the later years of her tenure, they didn't have bands on there. I think it was something to do with having to pay a lot of money for a music license, which it's all economics. You know, she's running a business, fair enough. But it to me, like I say, sort of coming down and going to the Nags and seeing bands was all, and all these other venues like the Crown and Churches was also a great thing. So in about 2004, Dave and Freddie took over the pub. And Dave's really into sort of having live music in pubs. And then I think it was to do with the licensing law changing, where they could have 24-hour, you know, this stuff, you know. And I think the way it worked was they basically got rid of the idea of music licenses because it was down. The onus was on the landlord. If it all went wrong, it's your fault, mate. And we can cut you off.
Yeah.
This is Richmond. Richmond, no. Richmond's scared of Stephen.
Yes.
Richmond's scared of everything. So anyway, I was chatting to Dave one night, like you do, and because you have to, because he does talk a lot. And he said about, oh, do you want to get some bands back then? Because he said, I don't even think we need a music license anymore. So anyway, I thought, fucking hell, fantastic, I can get bands. So we sort of cobbled together a bit of a crappy PA for about 100 quid, and then started sort of, I don't know how I first met these blokes, but it just kind of happened one day that they were just sort of there, and I don't know if they popped in the pub or whatever, and they ended up sort of, I put them on quite a lot, and with lots of other bands of that time, but it's Long Weekend.
Yeah. And
they were just storming, absolutely storming band. You know, it was like it was going back very much to like when I saw The Claim and people like that. It was like one of those moments, just go wow. And like me and Mark talk about it a lot. It was almost like there was almost like a cloud of nothingness fell over the local music scene for a lot of years, and there wasn't anything exciting. Then around about sort of 10, 12, 13 years ago, all these, and there's a lot of a lot of young men coming back and women coming back from university and just basically going, oh, we were in a band before we went, let's give it a go now.
Yeah.
And they're a lot older, got a bit more to sing about, and they're just absolutely great. And the nights in there, a Long Weekend played, and people like Limprice 3 and stuff, absolutely storming nights, you know, absolutely, you know, sweat dripping off the ceiling, and to me that was kind of where I wanted to go back. It was a bit of I don't know what to tell you. It was almost like, you know, everyone wants to sort of try and grab a little bit of their past or their youth again. And to me, I used to sort of stand there and just going, wow, this is great again. Yeah. Absolutely great. And you know, and then some of the bands we had, you know, I mean, even to the point, we managed to get the Masonics to play because Bruce wanted to play there for his 50th birthday and stuff like that, and they brought this band with them, the Muswells, and it was Liam, and it was a lovely bloke, and you know, it's the idea of getting this really young band. I think it might have only been their second gig or something like that, and they're playing this absolutely packed Nags Head, you know, and it's sort of just harked back to that time, and I still love it in there when they have a good band on and it's busy, or even when it's not busy and you can just sort of stand there, and a lot of the thanks has to go to Dave and Fred they put up a lot of shit, especially from wanky neighbours around here, with like, you know, moaning at them about the noise and stuff. Well, don't buy a fucking house next to a fucking bar. it's like it's my mantra. The old noise abatement bloke was out there one night, and I was a bit pissed up because someone had called him, and he was parked along the bottom of my drive, and I went, you can't park there, mate. He said, oh, I can, I'm noise abatement. I said, no, I want to get my car out. I couldn't even find my fucking car. I was so drunk. I was actually standing in front of the wrong garage. But yeah, so he had all those wankers. But bless them, they keep it going, and I mean, Homespun's helped. Yeah. You know, and yeah, so it's still there, and it's still. Hopefully it's, I mean, I was down there the other night and there were a couple of young bands on, and it's still that idea that young bands with original songs can go out and find somewhere to play, and it's not, you know, some bloke going, oh, can you do 2 sets and can you do a couple of Lynyrd Skynyrd numbers halfway through because the wife likes them, you know. It's what it should be about around here. There's enough fucking covers bands in the world. One's too many, to be honest. You know?
So you chose as your representation of the Long Weekend record.
Yes, because it's a great song. But the funny thing about the video, are you going to put the video on? A bit of the video.
I don't know.
I don't film the video, but because the way it's filmed, I don't know. It's just I just laugh every time I see it. I mean, it's this wonderful story: these gritty men kissing girls in toilets and looking at their phones. But if you look at it, look it up. It's.
I'll put a link in.
Yeah. But it's where it's filmed. It's just you see their groins all the time. It's just like camera seems to be permanently pointed at Dan or Ollie's groin. It's just like, what are they trying to portray here? Song, and the energy's there, and you know, it was filmed at the Tap Tin. And you know, they didn't let me in. I was too old for it. I had to make the tea. I think it was filmed. I remember someone saying, "Oh, it's going to be filmed on a Sunday," and it was like a bit early in the morning for me. It was something like that. So, oh yeah, they're doing it tomorrow. Oh, God, really? But no, it's.
So, Long Weekend, they were full of energy and swagger, and we're going to take over the world. And then it kind of leads us into the next 2 on your list, where they sort of diverge.
It was kind of...
You've got Your Theatre World and The Kids Unique.
Oh yeah. Well, before we get there, I just want to make a bit of honourable mention to Needs Must, which was Pat Cleary's band. Me and Bob did a Medway Happenings thing down at the Command House, and we were lucky enough, you know, they all played, and you know, for nothing, which was great because it was an Oxfam thing. And it's the first time I'd seen Needs Must because Bob had booked them, and they were just absolutely fantastic. And he's such a great bloke, Pat, and a great energetic songwriter, you know. And he'd been on the list, but I couldn't find any videos. I was talking to him on Saturday because he's buggered off to Berlin now, isn't he? He went today, and. I was talking to him on Saturday, it's a farewell thing. I said, oh, I would have put you on the list, but I couldn't find any videos. He said, yeah, he got banned because Wayne Rooney's in it or something like that. They used some Wayne Rooney footage. He said it's on Vimeo, so I was like, I can't be bothered to look for it now. I'll give him Stephen my list. It's bloody late, that.